So, I'm making a roguelike where you angered every god from every mythology and you have to fight off waves of enemies. The combat is fun, but it's a bit samey. You stab an enemy, maybe pogo on one, dash around a bit, but do you ever feel like there's more out there somewhere? Something more than parry projectiles, unleash a storm of seeking arrows, stab, but now it's a combo. So yeah, I added another playable character to the game, and now I get to add another slot to the list of descriptors for my game. So in my game, you play as an ancient writer of mythology. You discovered forbidden knowledge about each of the gods, which pissed them off, and that's why they're trying to kill you. But right now, I only have Homer, the blind poet from Greek mythology in the game. Now, as you're playing from the perspective of these writers, they may have embellished their physical appearances and feats a bit. But hey, it's all in order to tell a good story. This video is sponsored by Unity, so let's go ahead and reintroduce Homer.
Homer!
You all know the legendary blind poet of the Iliad and the Odyssey, and while his very existence is argued, one thing that can be argued are his insane muscles. Sporting the ever-classic primary attack, definitely not inspired by a particular bug, slash their enemies, pogo on top of them, and charge up and release devastating attacks. Dealing damage up close builds up a powerful secondary attack that can seek out enemies from a distance, and pogoing on enemies without touching the ground builds up stacks of pure poetic rage. This rage heavily boosts the damage of Homer's special technique, the slam down. The slam poet comes crashing down to the ground, dealing devastating damage to everything in his path. And yeah, that's pretty much Homer. I think I got a pretty accurate and historical depiction of the guy. He plays is a pretty easy to understand starting character with a focus on pogoing on enemies. But now it's time to add the new writer. But in order to do that, I have to first fulfill two side quests. First off, I have to peruse ancient Chinese literature, and I also have to fix my awful input system. So obviously, I chose the more fun option first. I'm trying to include stuff from almost every major mythology, as well as bits from other folklore and legends, so be sure to comment anything that you would like me to add to the game. Sometimes I even listen. However, I do already know a bit about Chinese mythology, mostly from learning about the legends behind the game Nine Souls for a video on my second channel, plus a bit of overly sarcastic productions, so I knew just who to pick.
Wu Chengin.
You might have heard of him. After all, he only wrote Journey to the West, one of the most influential stories of all time. Huh? You haven't heard of it? Well, there is also this little-known fanfiction of sorts, called Goku Dragon Balls. But enough of the writing. Wu Chengin was also a master of the bow, the sword, being a hermit, and right-clicking. He can perform a parry at optimal times in order to block projectiles and slash attacks from enemies. Parrying and also hitting an enemy with his primary attack, which is basically the same as Homer's, but now it's a 3-hit combo and a little bit weaker, builds up special attack charges. And whenever you hold down special attack, he releases a rain of seeking arrows which hunts down enemies. In order to play him right, you have to play aggressively and up close, attacking and parrying attacks. And then you can chill, and watch your seeking arrows demolish everything around you. In order to get Wu Chengin into the game, I had to first improve my player input system, as it's disgusting. There's a lot of issues with it as I threw it together as I worked out the plans for the game. So there were a lot of half-baked changes and old stuff that just got stuck in there. Man, it's gonna take so long. Okay, it's done. The nice thing about devlogs is that I can skip ahead in time and you don't have to hear about the horrors of refactoring. They're just implied. A big focus for the past month or so has been making everything in the game actually good. So I fixed up things like the Ares boss fight, a bunch of items which were misbehaving, one-way platforms, broken enemies, and I also added a bunch of new sound effects and some damage numbers that pop up as well. Plus, I added a new sort of chest, the Synergy chest. It works similarly to Enter the Gungeon. Basically, whenever you open the chest, it'll look through your inventory and pick a random item, and then give you a random item that has a tag in common with the randomly selected one. So the more items of a type that you have in your inventory, the more likely you'll get an item that synergizes with that type. So this should help you get better luck making powerful builds. And I also added dialogue. You can talk to the gods who you are fighting with, and also Hermes, who's chill. But look, cool portraits. That's right, I'm working with an artist who's doing portrait work for all the gods in the game. Elite has been doing a great job making these portraits, and I can also finally start implementing them in the game now. It's super cool to work with somebody as skilled as her, and her blue sky is linked in the description, so be sure to check it out. I also had to do some other stuff to support having multiple characters, like building a menu for switching characters, descriptions of attacks, and also actually switching characters. Plus I made it so you can see some of your important stats for your player whenever you open your inventory, which is convenient. By the way, this video is sponsored by Unity, who are currently having the Unity Spring Sale. Over 500 assets will be available at up to 50% off, with certain assets going to 70% off in daily flash deals. The spring sale will run until May 8th at 8 AM Pacific time, and you can get to it by using my affiliate link in the description. Some of my favorite assets that I personally use that are going on sale include Odin Inspector and Serializer, which is the first thing I add to every project I make. It helps you to add a ton more functionality and customization to your inspectors, and it really has helped me to build easy-to-use workflows for my game. Feel is the second asset I add to every project. Feel includes a bunch of nice effects like screen shake, freeze frame, controller rumble, and more. But it also has a ton of little tools that are very helpful for organizing a project, like the sound effect manager that I use in MythoMania. Text Animator is also a very easy to use and fun tool that allows you to add all sorts of effects to your dialogue system and text. I'm personally using it in MythoMania for the dialogue. It's super easy to use. And finally, Quantum Console is a powerful and easy to use in-game command console. By simply adding command with brackets around it to your code, you can add in your own commands and dev sheets to the console. Finally, if you're looking to make a game without coding, or just want to have an option to use a powerful visual scripting language with your game, Playmaker is a visual scripting tool that can be used alone or in addition to programming in C#. It's been used in games like Hollow Knight, Gris, and The Forest. Once again, if you want to check out the sale, then please use my affiliate link in the description. Thank you so much to Unity for sponsoring the video. And so last for this video, I'm going to show off a cool new build archetype that I've been working on. The fire build is built around fire. You can already inflict fire with one of the basic items in the game, but I also add an item that gives you a fire trail whenever you dash. It's the Heavenly Flame Wheel from Chinese mythology. Not only does it leave a trail, but having a further reaching dash increases the length of the trail. So that's interesting synergy with dash speed items. Finally, the Agni Astra, or the Astra of Fire, which is a powerful weapon wielded by the Hindu god of fire, Agni, is another item I added, and it makes it so the enemies that are on fire explode on death, spreading fire to other enemies. This also synergizes with other explosive items, meaning that if you also have the warding fireworks item, you get recursive fire explosions. My goal with these new items is to make defined builds, but also to link as many of them together as possible. And I'd say it's going pretty well so far. But that's all for this devlog. So be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with the game, and wishlist it on Steam, as that's the best way to support the channel. You can also comment any ideas for enemies or items or whatever you have for me. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.